and welcome back to Nina's Chelsea Corner. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another live stream where we have to talk about some hard truths because it's seriously becoming an issue what's happening at Chelsea. And as someone who's been very positive and has told you guys to believe and trust in the process and the manager and that we have good players and that we are headed in the right direction, it's games like today where you just question whether that's the case and whether you're basically trying to internalize accepting mediocre performances and accepting a 12th position in the league and accepting that we can still afford to drop further down and that, you know, it will get better next season, etc. But it's just not good enough. It is not good enough. And a lot of changes need to happen. But I guess my question to all of you guys is, who are you blaming? Are you blaming the players? Are you blaming the management? Are you blaming the ownership and pointing a finger at them because they got decisions wrong since the takeover? And frankly, I think we're still repaying for their mistakes this season. The players as well, players that we've brought in that are supposed to have so much quality, that are supposed to be the players that cost 100 million in the future, players that we fought other Premier League clubs to get because we believe that they will come good, players that have shown they want to be at Chelsea, that have a good attitude. Or are you blaming the manager that sold us a dream about why he knows and how he knows that Chelsea need to be where, like, guys, I'm just angry. I'm angry because I'm someone that has really tried to sell this dream to all of you guys as well. And yes, I'm angry. And yes, I might be a bit over dramatic, but I think I'm starting to see that maybe I am part of the problem, as in I'm basically trying to internalize the feeling of just being mediocre, being mid-table. And we're not even mid-table like 12th. We are 12th and we are literally on level points with 13th and 14th. So let that just sink in. What do I need to sacrifice? What do we need to sacrifice in order to get into a good position in the future? How much more do we need to strip our standards here? Because I don't know how okay it is to continue losing games because we're supposed to trust the process and that Poch knows exactly what he's doing. Poch literally came out and said that we need to buy more players. Is that the solution? Because we didn't spend enough money. We didn't bring in enough quality. We didn't bring in enough talent to be able to put on performances that get you points. Come on, guys. Yes, they're young. None of them are Prem proven. None of them are senior football proven, really. But you're not telling me they don't have enough quality to at least bag 3 points here and there. I accept there'll be inconsistencies. That's fine by me. But it's the fact that we are so inconsistent and that we're losing our identity. Seems like we're not building one either. And we seem to be falling more and more. And and when you hear Pochettino come out and say things like, oh, well, the boys gave it their everything and, oh, this is our reality now. Yes, this is our reality. This was our reality last season as well. You were supposed to come in and change that. And you were given a very good group of players. So it's actually almost hilarious that he thinks or doesn't. Yeah, he maybe questions and suspects the fact that these players are good. Like, who did we spend this much money on, guys? Please tell me, like, why do the players that we have, why are they not good enough? Why does Poch not know exactly what to do with them? Right, let's read some comments in the chat. Just send Reece for surgery. I'm tired of this and season is over. Yeah, like even when Reece James can't stay fit for more than a game. I'm pretty sure he hasn't played 3 games in a row since like last year. That is alarming. And that's our captain. How can Chelsea be consistent when we don't even have a consistently fit captain? Owners are to blame for this. We are in a mess. Yeah, I mean, it all kind of just, like I said, it's almost like a domino effect. Like you make one bad decision when you come in and you buy the club, and then it's almost like a domino effect. We're still dealing with repercussions of the mistakes that they made when they took over, like sacking Tuchel and not having an actual plan B, because Graham Potter was never a plan B, let's be honest. Okay, they realised that. Maybe that came later than it did, but I almost have trust issues now, guys, because I was shamelessly Potter in until that Aston Villa game, until the Southampton game. I was blinded by the fact that we can't keep chopping and changing managers, and it seems like already this is what we want to do. Like, I'm already seeing Pochettino out and Obviously, the fact that he's coming out and saying the things that he is, the fact that we are not able to work out how this group of players can just put on a good performance for longer than just one game, how he can't work that out. And for him to say that instantly the solution is let's buy more players. I know we need a striker. I'm not saying otherwise, maybe a goalkeeper too, but it's not like we need to stop looking outside. We have so many problems inside the club internally. They need to be solved. Going and chopping and changing another manager is going to do nothing. Like, what changes? I know it's the easiest thing to say because the manager is the only thing you can change off the back, like straight away. You can't change the owners. They're here to stay. You can't change all the players because, frankly, we've brought them in. We've signed them for 8, 9, 10 years. They're here to stay. Yeah, we might sell some of them. Yeah, we might loan some of them. But the reality is these are the group of players that we ourselves bought to take us into years of success. So now all of a sudden we've got a big problem if we're looking at these players and thinking they're not good enough. Where do we go from here? We can't continue buying and buying and buying aimlessly because we saw where that got us last season. We just about managed to cut down a bloated squad and now we want to do the same. We want to cut players that have barely played 2 or 3 games together, that have just about started to form relationships. Like, I know looking outside in, it's so easy to just say, just change the manager. But if we change the manager now, so much more to do afterwards. Like, do you know what I mean? I think it's foolish to think that sacking Poch today, tomorrow, whenever this week fixes 90% of our problems. It's not true. Sad time for us. We're no longer team. Nobody wants to play again against our, yeah. I mean, like, we're obviously looking back. Myself, I'm 22. I am a spoiled Chelsea fan. I've grown up watching us lift trophies, be successful, and I have people that comment, you know, and I'm sure some of you are here today that have been Chelsea fans for 30, 40, 50, 60 years and have basically said that this is the lowest they've seen the club. So for someone that's grown up seeing so much success, to suddenly see us barely able to survive is actually just beyond a crisis or critical. Chelsea are a disgrace. It's just so sad to see how low we've come. I thought I couldn't reach another low from last season, guys. And like I said, maybe I'm being overreactionary today. Maybe I'm being over dramatic with how I've reacted to this game. But it's the fact that I've questioned myself today thinking, am I foolish for thinking that this is a process worth trusting and that we should sacrifice 2 seasons in Europe to get back to contending for the title and being up there to win the Prem? We are so far off, guys. It is actually painful. And every time I think I see good signs, we take another step back. Players that impress me crawl into hiding or just can't play. Like, we were not stringing passes in that game. We literally were trying to stay off the ball. I saw players literally trying. It was like a hot potato at times. No, you have it, you have it, you have it. I've got no intent with what to do with the ball. I'm not going to take a shot. Just have it. Is Enzo any better than Jorginho? Well, that's I can't even believe we're having this conversation because, like I said, Enzo's been so brilliant for us. The last few games, questionable. Yeah, great game, scored 2 goals against Brighton, but in midfield, like, what midfield? Man United, we had nobody there in the middle. It seemed like we had a non-existent midfield. And it's like, these are the refreshments we've made. Like, Enzo was a big money signing, breaking record fees in January. And now suddenly, how did we get here? We're having conversations. Is he better than Jorginho? Caicedo versus Kante. Yeah, well, there you go. Like, in times like this, you do miss what you had. And even at the time where things were starting to go wrong with Thomas Tuchel as well, the players still knew exactly what needed to be done. And yeah, we set Pochettino up to fail. Yeah, guys, look, I feel sorry for Poch. I am not Poch out at all. And it's just it's so surface level to look at Chelsea right now and say Poch is the problem, because he, like anyone else that would have been appointed or taken the appointment as Chelsea manager, would have found himself in the same mess. Like a takeover and ownership which the fan base doesn't trust and still doesn't trust. So, like, how is he supposed to install that as well? He barely, I mean, I question how much authority he had in the transfer window, really. Like, brought maybe a couple players, but from what I'm hearing now, maybe he's not so happy with the players that we bought, and maybe they weren't all Poch players, but he's still been dealt this card. Like, you need to play these players. You need to keep them happy. You need to, change the lineups and keep the fans happy and this and that. But reality is Poch came in and he knew exactly what needed to be done. He's been given good players. I like to think he's a good manager. Yeah, okay, maybe not the richest trophy cabinet, but in terms of developing young players, yeah, he's got a good reputation, good history for that. What has Chelsea got? Lots of young, inexperienced players that have potential just waiting for it to be developed. And I know he's tried. There's been games where his game management has been good. I like what I saw. I like the way we set up today as well. Don't get me wrong. I didn't have issues with the lineup, so I'm not even going to blame the lineup today. Like, that's not the issue. We had good players out there. We had some fresh legs in the squad. It was good to see some rotation. There's been players that haven't been performing anyway. Why should they be the ones that regularly start? You know, and maybe, yeah, the ones that we did change today didn't do any better, but yeah, wow, well, that's a positive comment. Astronomical wages and astronomical price tags that Chelsea are paying for average mediocre players. Yeah, Jackson is not a top-level striker. Yeah, because someone said this. Like, someone said, at the end of the day, these players are getting paid. You know, whatever happens, like, we're watching the crappy football. We're taking the crap results, but at the end of the day, they're getting paid. And whether they understand that this isn't good enough is a different story, because at the end of the day, this is literally their job. Like, this is what they do. How affected they are. I mean, I like to think that these players want to be at Chelsea, but I mean, I'd be foolish to say that, you know, they know exactly what needs to be done, that they know what the standards at the club are, that they love the club. Like, that's all, you know, that's all too much to ask for players that have just come in, but at least to put on good performances on a consistent basis that is more consistent than just 2 games in a row would be so much welcome. We're not Arsenal, and I don't like trust process. Yeah, look, and fair enough, Daniel. Like I said, I've been rinsing this phrase more than anyone ever. Trust the process. Like, believe that we are going somewhere. We might have to accept some inconsistencies on the way, but it looks like we're headed in the right direction. You know, we had games like Man City that installed that faith in you that we can go toe to toe. But when you're seeing how Man City are going at the moment, you just kind of think, well, maybe was that the best time to play them? You know, and it takes away from us as a squad. But I'm just struggling to understand what the real intentions are at the club at the minute. What are we aiming for here? Because we need to understand that. I want to know from the club, like, what are we desiring for this season? Is it to finish in the top 10? Is it European places? Is it top 4? Lol. Or are we just trying to build players, to build some sort of system, some sort of like playing style, and then build on it like years to come? Or are we trying to stay up? Like, I actually just want to know what it is we're working with, because it will make accepting results and performances a lot easier, where I'm not sat here every single time Chelsea play wondering if this was good for our standards, if this was okay to accept, or if this is just not okay. Because players from the old era will tell you that as well. It's not okay and we shouldn't be accepting it. So why I'm defending results and performances recently as I have, I am not too sure. Poch just called us, we're a mid-table in reality. We're doomed. Yeah, I mean, are we even a mid-table club though? Because I'm seeing mid-table, like so-called mid-table clubs performing a lot better than Chelsea are right now. Would Osimhen really want to join us? I mean, Graham, that's a fantastic question. Would Victor Osimhen, such a prolific striker that's got so much potential to develop and still score goals and make a good name of himself, want to come to a club that's not in Europe, looks further than ever being and playing in Europe, and is just sort of hanging around 13th spot in the Premier League? Would he want to come to Chelsea? I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. And that's going to be the problem, you know. That's going to be the problem looking forward. Like, when we do need to buy, a striker or buy players, who is actually going to believe in this project? I mean, we somehow managed to recruit all these youngsters that, you know, could have gone to other clubs. They could have gone to other Premier League clubs. They could have gone to other clubs in Europe, but they chose Chelsea because, you know, they were painted this picture of what process we're building on, that what we're working on here. And they came. Some of them are trying to leave now already. Like, we've seen that some of them are pushing for their way out. How much they believe in the process, how much they trust the owners, how much they trust the manager, we won't know. Like, we won't know. Hi, Nina. Hi, Luca. You okay? Not really, but hey, what's new? No, Enzo ain't just exactly some player as Jorginho. We wasted 100 million just to replace that. Yeah, but look, come on. I'm not going to say Jorginho is better than Enzo. Like, we sold Jorginho, period. Nobody moaned about that. Respectfully, thank you so much for everything he ever did. Like, at least he can say he's played in a good Chelsea side and like brought us to European successes, etc. But I mean, he was on a decline for us. Slow in midfield. Whether Enzo's quicker than Jorginho is maybe an unanswered question for now. Big question mark. But still, like, I'm not going to sit here and say I miss Jorginho. Like, come on. Nina, we're a big club, but with a mid-club team, it's nothing to do with Poch. This is the owner's fault. Bad recruitment, too many young players. We need more experienced players. And you know what's the funniest thing, Carlton? We are still looking in for young players. We are still going in. And it's like, I get the ideology. I get the profile of players we're looking for. I get it. I get what they wanted to do in summer, why we brought in so much young talent. But at the end of the day, now Pochettino is looking and saying, well, there's no experience in the squad. And how do you solve that? You go and sign another 17-year-old wonder kid from the other side of the world because he's going to come good one day. Come on, we're struggling with the players that we have right now. And frankly, is there even a structure implemented, like an actual sustainable structure for them to come to be loaned out, to develop, to get better? Like, what is the objective here? We got Gusto, please send James for surgery. Yeah, we got Gusto, but he's also now injured because, and it's hard not resent's the wrong words, but it's hard to not blame James. Like, I know he's like injuries and stuff is out of his control, but even sort of the mistake I'll bring up where he got himself sent off, like, we already lose you out for injuries, like more than it's acceptable and more than it should be accepted because. And let's be real, any other player, like, people have called for his head time ago, but it's because it's Reece. It's because, he's been at the club for so long. We value him. He's one of our, best players, etc., which is why we cut him more slack. But it's so hard to consistently see Reece James out for extended periods of time. Is he coming back in? Is he not? At least one thing I'll tell you guys that Recruitment did right was bringing in Malo Gusto, because Malo Gusto, when he needed to step up after Reece James's injury, he did. Big boots to fill, but on the most part, he did. And I was really excited and pleased with what he was doing. But it's just a shame that he's out now. We've got to play fullbacks on the other side of where they usually favour to, because we don't have another choice. There's no passion. Terry Cahill, Lampard, Drogba. You know what? It feels illegal to say these legends' name in this live stream right now because of how negative and how, just bad this day has been, or like the last couple of months. And they're all players that have come out and told you they don't really recognise Chelsea. Again, I've just been someone foolish that's just brushed it under the carpet and said, yeah, we're going to go through a tough time. As I said, I'm an entitled fan that's seen success and expects it automatically. But yeah, maybe that's where I'm wrong. Maybe I should be settling for mediocrity because I've been lucky enough to see us at the top and need to go through the trenches, right? Supposedly. Bowley and Egg Barley, dumb and dumber, buy an elite winning club and ruin it in a space of 1.5 years. Absolutely clueless. Yeah, look, they need to take responsibility as well, 100%. And I wouldn't say that even with Recruitment, maybe that's where they wanted to earn our trust because, we bought the players that we did, that we had the right sort of idea, like moving forward, appointing Pochettino or like sacking Graham Potter, like when enough was enough, bringing in Lampard, that was obviously just to lift or to aim to lift the spirit at the club. Yeah, it did for about 5 minutes. And then we realised that, respectfully love you, Frankie Lampard, but just realised that, you can't manage Chelsea. And it almost seems like they've been trying to earn our trust, but it's just not quite happened. And guys, there's really nothing we can do about ownership. Like it or not, this is like at least for the next 10 years, we have these as our owners. And they need to take some accountability. They need to take some responsibility. And sacking the manager, I don't think is the answer. If they do that, then again, I would probably question them more than I am right now, because what's the next step? Like, we were meant to go away from the old regime of just sacking and changing, chopping, and just sticking with one manager like other clubs have done. Yes, we know at Chelsea that's been impossible. If you drop the standards, that's it. Pack your bags and go, because we shouldn't be accepting it. But at the end of the day, sacking Poch fixes nothing. It's just the easiest thing to do because it's the only thing you can change instantly. Sacking Poch will change nothing. There you go. Thank you. These clans will appoint another yes man who's done nothing and results will be the same. These owners are the problem and are absolutely clueless. Yeah, look, and I didn't think Poch was a yes man. He didn't strike me as a yes man. I saw that very first interview he did with the club when he arrived at Chelsea. just sparked so much faith and thought, you know what, we need a manager that recognizes where Chelsea needs to be, where we've been for the last 20 years, and maintain that, you know, and take us to challenging for the title again. He understood that, because I still think Graham Potter never understood that in the first place. So I think the first thing you can do as a manager is understand what the club standards are, so that you know exactly what you're working towards. And I feel like now it's almost, you know, he's sitting down in press conferences and saying, this is our reality, like, we're a mid-table team. Yeah, mate, what's good? Tell us something we don't know, like, change it, please do something. Debating whether I should go to Sheffield on Saturday. Well, you know what? I want to say we're going to win that game, because that's just how Chelsea go. You know, these are the inconsistencies. We win, lose, draw, whatever. Loss, win, draw. And I'd like to think that maybe, just maybe, that'll be the little tiny lift of 3 points, and then we'll be back to where we were. But then again, are we going to win? Like, they're going to just set up a low block on us, and then good luck Chelsea trying to break them down. And like I said, I am nobody to be disrespecting any club in the league right now, saying that's an easy game. Absolutely not. If anything, we're not even that far away from Sheffield. I don't know how many points, but yeah, it would be stupid to think that. Don't give anything to Clear Lake. Any tips? They don't deserve our money until changes are needed. I just don't get playing Cucurella at right back. He obviously struggles there. Yeah, well, today Graham didn't have a choice, did we? Because our first pick, captain right back, is injured again, and our second choice in Malagusto is also injured. So what do? We really don't. And it's so funny to think we spent so much money, but here we are playing players out of position because we have nothing. Where did the depth go, guys? Where did the depth go? How long would you give Pochettino at Chelsea? See, this is it. This is where I need to be honest and say, like, what are my expectations for Chelsea? Because that's how you kind of determine how long you'll give Poch. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, I'm sorry, it's not even based off today. Top 4 is impossible. It looks like now, you know, because it's not just us we have to look at. It's other clubs in the Prem. Like, have you seen how other clubs are going, guys? You know, your Aston Villas beating Arsenal, Newcastle, how they've been recently. Obviously got battered by Tottenham today, but you know what I mean. Like, they can afford to have a bad result, and at least they've got an excuse, guys. Fatigue. Playing in Europe, hello, what's our excuse? What are we doing? So I think it has to be realistic. Like, we definitely need to try and get back into some sort of European football, because then we're going to be doomed. Like, these players, where does their motivation come from as well? They need to have that feeling of competing for playing in knockout games as well, for there to be more on the line, because otherwise I fear where we go for next season. And maybe that's the standard there. If we don't get back into Europe one way or another, then we can have a conversation. But then again, you also have to think about it. See, this is where I contradict myself, because then you have to think about it like, okay, but if we don't get Europe and we go into next season and we're trying to build on whatever playing style we managed to create this season, whatever, and say, look, this is a season, we sacrifice another season so that Pochettino can build some sort of consistency, because I like to think that consistency gets you somewhere, guys. This is my only reasoning with sticking by a manager, but then I also do fear it, because I was, like I said, Graham Potter in until the very end. So I have trust issues with our manager, but frankly, like, sacking him fixes nothing, and maybe we need to give him we need to give him this season, in my opinion. But then that means accepting whatever happens, like good or bad, is part of it. Shocking, pathetic performance. Yeah, I didn't like what I saw today. People said we weren't that bad, but honestly, I was just done. I was done. Like, the way Everton played, guys, the fact that they've reacted so well to having 10 points deducted, the fact that they would be above us in the table, points as well, like the fact that, you know, they've reacted the way they were following a relegation battle last season is admirable. That's why I keep saying I look at us as a club, but you can't just look at us as a club. You've got to look at what everyone else is doing. And honestly, fair play, Everton. You know, you deserve that game. You deserve to win that game today. Yeah, like, subscribe, and share. And again, thank you so much to everyone that's joined this live stream today. On a waffle, like, yeah, I mean, it's late, guys, but we can put this behind us soon and then just look on to the next. I don't know, but again, Chelsea shouldn't be ruining weekends. I've had enough of this last season. Like, I went to every single game right until the very end, and I said to myself, guys, I refuse to get so negative this early on this year. Like, we're not even end of the annual year, and I really feel the way I did last season. And I said to myself, I'm just going to keep being positive, because I just refuse to let myself get to that low that I was last season, you know, because surely, like, what could be worse? But right now we're going at the same speed, so joke's on me. But anyways, yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, if you enjoy it. And again, yeah, keep putting your thoughts in the comments. Unless we pay big wages from now on, no top player will come to a mid-table team. Yeah, there you go. That's very true. What are your thoughts on Petrovic? You know what, guys? I'm so sad for Petrovic. He did not deserve this. He deserved to make his debut in a much better game where, you know, we were excited to see him, where players would play for him as well, where the result would be much better, the mood would be much better. He didn't deserve to make his debut in the way he did, and it's not fair to blame him for today, because, you know, everyone could have done so much better. Like, why we needed to be tested so much in today's game is all down to us. So again, like, what is there to say? Yeah, he made a mistake, but Sanchez hasn't been a flower either this season, and I still stand by that. Look, Sanchez has been good. He's had some really good saves. He had a good save in that game as well, so potentially could have been 3-0 today, but it's like at times you save your own mistakes. His distribution is always going either out of play or to a player of the opposition team. So it's like, well done. I'm supposed to praise a player for, you know, redeeming his own mistake. And frankly, I'm not completely bought by Robert Sanchez as a long-term goalkeeper here. So there you go. Wow, guys, so much money spent, and I'm not even confident. We need another experienced defender. Silva is good, but his age is getting up there. He can't play forever. He needs help. Yeah, look, deservedly got a rest today. Even me, as the biggest Thiago Silva stan, has thought that. I mean, I think we could see a good partnership with Disasi and Badiashile as well. Obviously, they've had history playing together at the back. And, I mean, it could come good. I think aerially they're very dominant together as well, which means we've actually got some height in our defensive line as well, which is good. But yeah, look, I know Silva's not going to get better. I know he's going to be on a decline, but to think that Thiago Silva's been at fault for our performances is just, in my opinion, very ignorant. Gusto might be back for the next game. I hope he's back. I hope so too. Please, honestly praying. We should not accept if Poch says we are mid-table. Yeah, absolutely, Carol. Like, that is an absolute, like, true and fair point you make. We can't accept it. Like, what are we now? We're a mid-table team now, are we? Yeah. And honestly, if the traditional top 6 changes, we're not a traditional top 6 team as of this season, guys. Oh dear, Badiashile is quality. Yeah, I know, and I'm so glad that people are starting to rate him again as well. I know he was slightly brushed under the carpet because obviously he had his injury in summer. Like, obviously, Disasi came in, Colwell came in, so we had other players to be excited about. But for me, Badiashile was so bright last season, like such a composed defender, and yeah, he just looks comfortable on the ball. So I have no issues there. He can start again. I'm pleased with him. Like, he can easily start the next few games. This is a coaching problem, not an ownership problem. Only problem for them is missing out of Champions League. That is where the money is. Poch really did Poch do a really good job at PSG? Yeah, well, look, that's why we had our doubts, because, you know, if you're looking on paper and if you're looking at actual tangible achievements of Poch, there's not that many. But, you know, then you look at the aspect of developing players and having a good reputation for making, you know, average players come good, then that's exactly what we needed. So it's a hard one. But, you know, I honestly just think, like, it's not all the coach though, you know, like, our players on the pitch so many times this season have just not been able to put a stupid chance away. How is that down to Poch? Like, let me ask you guys this. Watching Jackson today, like, actually be so helpless in the box, Breuer too, but when Jackson came on, like, equally, it's just like, how can you as a manager possibly change that? Like, what do you need to do? Are they not doing shooting drills? Are they not finding the back of the net in training? I doubt that. But, you know, so, like, our players have been so costly of a lot of these performances. Like, Poch has, on the most part, done the right thing with the lineups he selected, like with the game management. Yeah, at times substitutions can be questionable. And I don't really understand how a player that you don't rate, Ian Maatsen, and I'm talking about Poch here, how you don't favour Ian Maatsen, but you bring him on on in hopes to turn games around, like in the last 15 minutes. Like things like that sometimes don't quite make sense. Why we try and go defensive and defend some draws, and then when we concede, then we bring on attacking and forward-thinking players, like things like that. I do also question playing Colwell at left back, decisions like that. But sometimes they work out, and then we don't complain about them. So it's like, well, there's only so many things the manager can do. And yeah, look, I'm never going to defend his mentality. If he's coming out saying that this is our reality, then no, that's not good enough. And frankly, like, I'm so disappointed and heartbroken to hear you say that. But at the end of the day, like, some of our players have just been so pathetic in some of these games where it's like, come on, like, how can we be so inconsistent in seeing one form of playing style on the pitch, and then the next game it is just nowhere to be found, And I'm sure when Poch sees a good performance, he's trying to replicate it. He's trying to drill it back into them, trying to get them to play the same way again. But yeah, look, I understand. Obviously, manager has to take some blame, but I wouldn't. It's not solely him. Like, our players, if Poch is getting blame, our players need to get double blame as well. You're going to see more fans turn on Poch when we get beat by Sheffield United. Wow, I think that's going to be a new low, and I'm not ready for it. But if that happens, then yeah, I mean, I've already seen how much of a dominant part of our fan base is already Poch out. So if that happens, it wouldn't surprise me that more people would be riding that wave. What is going on at the training sessions and the fitness and medical department? Yeah. Do you know what my theory is, guys? I just feel like everyone at Chelsea right now, like staff, people, players, like just people that are on the ground, I feel like they all hate each other. And, you go into work and you don't say hi to your colleagues, or you judge this decision and that decision, and you all sort of are at work because you're employed there, but you don't actually like each other. Because how can you tell me so many things are disjointed? Like, where are these relationships that make the club what it is? Where are these like, it's easy to look at training photos and see the players, hugging and smiling and this and that, but I question if that's actually the reality, behind the cameras and off the pitch. Like, what is it actually like? Back in the day, we saw players be united. Things, you could tell, like, there was a certain aura at the club where things just seemed to be smooth and to click. I know last season is a big antagonist. I know it's a big part of the problem why things are still so disjointed, because come on, there was such a turnover in staff. Like, we literally got rid of the whole backroom staff, like people upstairs, like further up in the hierarchy left, like so much change, management, players, and it's hard to just expect it to be the same system that was so successful and doing so many good things when so much changed. Here's me going against myself. This is like, I'm at war with my own thoughts and what I'm believing here right now. But and this is where I would say things like that take time, like relationships, building relationships. Those things do take time, like 100%. But I just don't imagine how patient can we be? It's like, we need to ask ourselves, what would be the lowest low for you guys? Like, let me know in the comments down below. When would you say that enough is absolutely enough and that this is not something we should be accepting? Like, it's one thing to finish 8th 3 seasons in a row. It's another thing to finish 12th 2 seasons in a row and then not really know like where you're going from there. Sorry, David, I didn't read your comments. Same old from the previous season. Yeah. If Poch gets sacked, owners will draw up a short list of company and Gary O'Neill. They're not serious about winning. Potter, Lampard, then Poch tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, and this is where you question how much structure and how much reasoning there is behind decisions being made and whether they actually have sense or they're just irrational things. We're done at the top level. Yeah. Plus, the stupid buying of young players model shows you there's not interested in winning and competing. Yeah, look, and I think another mistake that you can sort of blame on the ownership, recruitment, whoever you want to blame, is the fact that it was so drastic in getting rid of all these players. Like, there is no argument we needed refreshment. Like, we had players that were coming to the ends of like their prime, like their good days, and they just really were like, ready to say goodbye to them. But at the same time, like, it should have been smoother. There still should have been some experience that transitioned these youngsters that came in. Because right now, I imagine it, all these young individuals that want to prove themselves to the manager, to the fans, they just want to play football. You know, they want to be liked. They want to be posting all these stuff and connecting with the fans on social media. You know, they don't want to be benched. They might sulk. They might do this. They might. And I question how much of it is a collective and how much of it is I want to play, or I want to be good today, or I want to score, or I want to assist, and this and that. And like, these are the things where inexperience really does shine through. And frankly, like, Thiago Silva is not enough experience in one squad to be able to do that. And like I said, that's such a big huge burden for him as well, like such a big responsibility. So, you know, you're right in what you say here, RC. Like, the fact that so many like youngsters came in at once and all of our experience left at once as well is like, how can anyone ever transition? You know, when you go to work, you need to, it's like at work, like, relate it. Like, if you start a new job, there's always people that have been there before you for like 10-15 years, and they show you in. If you start on a trial shift with like 10 new members, like, let's be real, like, you're going to be in a bit of trouble, aren't you? Is there a particular time when you do your live streams, Nina? I enjoy the chat. Thank you so much, Graham. I mean, right now, a bit inconsistent with my live stream like schedule. I sort of just do it when I feel there's a need to like come and talk to you guys, like with games like today. But I'm basically going to do it, make it a weekly thing, and I think I'm just going to pick a day in the week where I go live. But let me know if you guys enjoy it, if you want to see more of it, like what sort of times, and we can work that out. Because I know it's a late Sunday and you guys are all probably heading to bed soon, but appreciate all of the 26 of you that are here right now. And again, like this video, like the stream, help it share around. I'm on my way to 3,000 subs as well, so that's also another milestone I'm trying to set. But yeah, thank you guys. Just sad, really, especially when the top 6 teams are all losing points. Never seen the league so open in a long time. Yeah, David, that's exactly it, and that's why I struggle to put Chelsea anywhere near those top 6 spots, because you see how teams and certain clubs are going at the minute. And the saddest thing is they've got 2 fixtures a week, most of them. They're also injured and fatigued, and they're also learning, integrating themselves with some of the new signings they've had. Yeah, obviously not gone through as much change as we have, but they're still dealing with their own circumstances, and they're dealing because they're getting points. What is our excuse? That's why it's so hard to excuse these performances. Like, what is it we're actually working on here? Right. What else have you guys got to say? If you could sign 2 players, who would they be? See, I'm so over it. Like, I don't even want to think about signings right now, because we brought in so many, and it just seems like I've barely seen any of our new signings like hit their their best quality. Yeah, there's been good signs from some of them. We need to sign a striker. We need to sign a goalkeeper, I'd say, and I don't know who and what. And I just don't want to think about that right now. Chelsea are finished. Yeah, guys, it's actually crazy how you can be so positive one week and then be so negative the next. But I guess that's just Chelsea for you. I miss Tuchel team from 2021. We had so much hunger and structure, barely conceding goals. Felt like we were back against Liverpool first game, but by the second game, you could tell we ain't. Yeah, story of our life, though, isn't it? And when you look at all these games, you know, we've been close. We've just about been close, but we haven't had that edge, that extra thing that gets you over the line and gets you the 3 points, gets you beating these top teams, you know. Even when the times that we've been very close, we've taken that as a win. We've taken that as a positive. That tells you everything you need to know. Since the owners came in, the club started to fall. They don't know anything about football. Yeah, look, and I said, you know, they've got a lot of work to do if they want to earn the trust of the fans, and they actually want us on their side. Because frankly, right now, I know we all have trust issues. Why did the new ownership do wholesale changes to our staff? We were such a well-oiled machine, so why change something that isn't broken? Yeah, well, there you go. Including our groundsman. Was our pitch not in good enough condition? Was our grass blades poor quality? Is that why we are as crap as we are right now? Because our grass at Stamford Bridge is not healthy, is not looked after? Is that why our home record is so bad? Guys, I don't know, like, why did the groundsman need to be fired? Still 5 p.m. here in Washington. We are not going to bed. Oh, wow, Washington, D.C. Hello there. I mean, fair enough. You've got a whole day to dwell on. I mean, if you're a Chelsea fan, you've got the whole day to dwell on how bad that went. But for me, I get to call it a day and not look back, because Jesus Christ. big ups, Nina. We are all in the mud, and as a Man United fan, I'm tired. Big up anyway. Smash the likes. Yeah, thank you, Cavs. Thank you for watching. Yeah, well, look, at least you can relate on one thing, but either way, I still feel like you guys are a tad better. I hate to say that, but not better in terms of like performances and quality, but league position, you've still managed to find it in you to scrape the barrel, to grind out some results along the way this season, and you are where you are in the league. Like, you know, regardless of what's happening, you guys are also a big mess, but you know, when we saw it on Wednesday, didn't we? The fact that you guys were going through a crisis and you still managed to almost beat us like 3, 4, 5, maybe, is just tells you everything you need to know. And I literally said this as well. I was like, if there's one game that Man United and the players will turn up for Eric Ten Hag, it just would be against Chelsea. Like, so typical. And then you see the game against Bournemouth and you think, wow, we really are in the I'm going to get laughed at tomorrow at work. Another defeat, but I'm used to it now. What these owners have turned us into a laughing stock and a banter club. Yeah, and you know what, guys? I used to love the fact that when I went out with my friends, you know, I always just had more to bring to defend my club, you know, that. And now I am the laughing stock of the group. And like, frankly, with this season, there's a struggle to come out and defend myself. And you just have to sort of accept it. I mean, you got to laugh as well, because if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And I always say, my motto in life is I'd rather be laughing. So, yeah. But, you know, just got to ignore it. Just always pull out the European pedigree is my way out in that, if I'm talking to an Arsenal fan or a Tottenham fan. We need leaders on the park, Nina. Yes, we do. I'm reaching my delirious stage, guys, now, so I'm going to round this one out in a bit. Nina, when can we start sending super chats? Yeah, so, well, if you want to, obviously you can help me out by liking, subscribing, because I'm almost there. I'm almost going to hit the mark, so I'm very close, and then you'll be able to send me super chats, so I really appreciate that. But yeah, guys, just, you know, keep liking the videos, watch my content when it comes out, subscribe, obviously, if you haven't done so already. You enjoy it, it really, really helps out. You'll help me reach that mark soon. So yeah, Cabs, very, very soon, I'm hoping. My aim is before the end of this year, so hopefully I'll be hitting you with a Christmas live stream, and we'll be able to have some super chats. We should have kept Tuchel. Yeah, well, that's done. Great show as always, Nina. Keep the blue flag flying high. Thank you, Graham. And I guess this is a great way to round that out. Keep the blue flag flying high. Because, guys, whatever happens, you know, we're Chelsea. Like, we're here to follow the club. And like I said, I almost feel like I owe it to the club to, you know, to go through these times. Like, I'm not going to accept this, like, these unacceptable performances. And I'm not going to accept us, like, dropping more and more down and almost forgetting what sort of club we are and where we deserve to be. But like I said, I owe it to the club to support the players, the manager, maybe even the ownership if we have to right now. But, you know, nothing good will come from sacking Poch right now. Nothing good will come from, you know, getting rid of all the players in January, because frankly, we've been building on some things recently. I know it doesn't seem that way after games like today. It seems like we've just gone like 10 steps backwards. Nothing's changed, but there have still been some sort of glimpses of improvement, of hope. I love how I'm just trying to make you guys all delusionally hopeful now again. But yeah, like I said, I mean, dedicated this YouTube channel to following Chelsea. So I picked the greatest year as well to start this YouTube channel, guys. Like, I mean, it's obviously meant to be like, got to stick through the thing, and hopefully like in a few years to come, it's all going to be worth it. And yeah, we'll say that trusting the process worked out for the better. But yeah, again, guys, just keep the faith. We're on to Sheffield next, and I know that even if we win that game, it's still not going to take away from the bigger picture and the reality of the way where we find ourselves as a club right now. But yeah, I mean, we're supporters, we're here to stay, we have to. Anyways, though, everyone that's still here, thank you so much for your time and for watching. I appreciate all your comments, for joining me tonight discussing Chelsea. Appreciate all your love. And again, like I said, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to put up an actual match review tomorrow as well, sleep on it tonight, and hopefully have a better judgment of that game. Maybe more positive, I don't know, maybe not, but yeah. Anyways, guys, take care of yourselves. Hope you've had a good weekend and have a good week. Thank you.